Hi guys, so with the experience and knowledge that I've gotten in the poultry field over the past years, I consistently appear on farmer forums here and there, getting asked lots of questions, visiting lots of farmers, and I'll tell you the most common question that I face when I visit most of these farmers. How do I deal with this kind of disease? How do I treat this kind of disease? What do I do when my birds get diarrhea? What do I do when my birds started getting drowsy or when the feathers start falling off? It's always about treating disease. And I feel like this is the thing that most farmers get wrong. There are a lot of problems that farmers do face in the poultry field. A lot of times it's about the market, many times it's about the management, someone who knows the stuff and being able to run the farm very well. Many times it's about record keeping, sometimes it's about the feeding, very commonly it's about the feeding. But most commonly it's disease. Disease is what takes most farmers out of market. You see, the market is almost always there and people struggle, you can hustle and find a way of dealing with the market, getting people to buy from you here and there. Sometimes it's the feeding, you can play around with the feeding. The birds can recover if you get the right formula, but you won't be able to do anything if the birds are dead due to disease. And I'll tell you something, prevention is better than cure. That has always been it. You see something that I always find interesting. You'll never find an adult human being coming to a doctor or going to a doctor and you're asking, hey, so what do I do when my child gets diarrhea? What do I do when my child gets, malaria or when they get a convulsion or anything like that? No. It's rare that people ask such questions. Most of the times it's about prevention, how do I prevent my child from getting malaria? How do I prevent my child from getting diarrhea, You always try to make sure that you give your child the best food possible, clean food. For us in Africa here or in the tropical areas where we do have malaria, it's about using mosquito nets. It's about prevention, You never find parents putting a lot of emphasis on actually treating a disease. You never find parents coming and asking a doctor, so how do I know that my child has dysentery? What kind of stool is it? But then for us people in the poultry field, it's very common. And I feel like that's the biggest mistake. Prevention is better than cure. And what's the most common way of preventing disease on the farm? Biosecurity. Well, biosecurity is prevention, but how do you prevent disease on the farm? By restricting entry onto the farm. There are very many other ways, Sometimes disease can appear on a farm, I don't know, maybe from the soil, maybe through the air. But the most common way of disease coming onto a farm is through person-to-person contact. Person-to-person contact. Oh, by the way, in case you're wondering why there is a lot of noise in the background, this is one of our broiler breeder houses, It's a broiler breeder house constructed from really cheap and easy material. Inside this house, the length of this house is about 200 meters, Probably a little bit over that, maybe 220 meters in length by 15 meters in width. So it's a really big house. It's taking about 10,000 broiler breeders. So we have both males and females in here, and you can hear the males crowing. You can even hear the females, in the background, but you can hear the males crowing. So that's what's behind me. That's the noise that you're hearing. And you can see that I didn't choose to go inside. I'm outside. I'm quite a distance, maybe 6-7 meters away from the chicken house. Limiting human contact, physical contact with your farm is such an important thing. So important. And that's what I'll put emphasis on today. It's so important. Certainly you'll get lots of people wanting to come to your farm, lots of people who want to come and visit, they want to come and check out the farm, come and see how you're doing, For example, for me over here on the YouTube channel, emails, I get loads and loads of people sending me messages asking, when can we visit your farm? Where is your farm? How can I visit your farm? It's not a mistake that I don't share where the farm is. It's because I don't want random people coming to the farm, I don't want to keep chasing away people because I don't allow visitors onto the farm. I certainly don't allow visitors onto the farm because the risk is too high. Recently, I've been visiting a few farmers and you go and visit the farmer has an outbreak of a disease. Maybe it's fall typhoid, maybe it's gumboro. The more common poultry diseases. And a lot of these diseases are introduced physically onto the farm. Maybe sometimes it's fall pox. It's contact, physical contact with another farm or with another bird that has these diseases. So it's very, very easy to prevent some of these diseases. Very easy and very avoidable. And it's quite cheap, you know, it's really, really cheap. You don't need to spend a lot of money. When it comes to prevention, prevention is effective. It's the most effective way of preventing, you know, losses on a farm from disease. Simply by prevent people from coming onto your farm. If someone is not going to be beneficial to the farm, if someone is not coming to the farm to troubleshoot and solve a solution which can't be solved without physical presence, then that person shouldn't be coming to the farm. Things like feed delivery, if you can avoid it, make it in such a way that the feed is delivered to a point which is before contact with the birds. You know, that would be the most ideal thing. So you shouldn't have trucks coming onto the farm. If the trucks come onto the farm, they should be within a limited area. You know, they shouldn't be going beyond a particular area, because those trucks, the trucks that carry feed, usually they're the same trucks delivering feed to very many different areas. They move to different farms, they move to lots of areas, they'll go to villages, they'll go to cities, they'll go to infected areas, they'll go to clean areas. So you need to minimize contact of these trucks with your farm. You need to minimize contact of any humans from the outside with your farm. Like I've said, if it's not a vet coming over to your farm to solve a particular problem, don't allow anyone onto the farm, even if it's your brother, even if it's your mother. You know, sometimes the emotional attachment is what's going to kill your farm. Having all these people and allowing them to come onto your farm because, you know, they are your mother or because they are your best friend. Hey, your best friend is going to take you out of business. For me over here, for example, we have over 60,000 birds, and it's very easy for, if one house gets illness, it's very easy for that illness to get transferred to the entire farm, because, you know, it's the same people working over, you know, they interact with each other. So we need to minimize the possibilities of that. And so I don't allow any visitors onto the farm. I'll tell you this plainly, yeah? I understand that with the Farm Up Academy coming up, a lot of people are going to want to visit the farm, and I'm going to make arrangements for that. I'm building a farm that's going to be a smaller farm where I can take the risk, maybe 500 birds, you know, where I can take the risk, I can accept people to come there, and of course they would have to go through all the rest of the biosecurity measures that are necessary to make sure that, you know, disease doesn't get introduced onto the farm. But again, with that I can take the risk, and people can come and visit. But with such a big farm, and with your farm is not a demonstration farm. Remember that. Your farm is not a demonstration farm. You're in that for business, unless you're doing it typically for demonstration purposes, yeah? But if not, then don't allow visitors onto the farm. You need to guard it jealously. It's your investment. You need to guard it jealously. If you do, then you're going to have all these issues of treating diseases consistently, dealing with diseases consistently, coming to me, asking me questions, say, my birds are passing bloody stool, my birds are passing yellow stool, how do I prevent this, how do I deal with this? I hate answering that question, because number one, most of the people who ask such questions will never ever comprehend it. I could tell you that this is, you know, maybe coccidiosis, but the next time you get coccidiosis, it could present in another way. You know, it's just like someone who has malaria. Malaria is a very common illness for us here in Africa, so I use it a lot, or in Uganda, so I use it a lot because it's a killer disease. It's a killer disease, and one day it will present with a headache, the next time it will present with convulsions, you know, and the other day it will present with a stomach ache. So if for you you've crammed that, you know, malaria presents with a headache, the time it presents with a stomach ache, you won't know that you're actually dealing with malaria, and you could die. You won't know what to do. You'll start giving treatment maybe for an abdominal upset, when in the end it's actually malaria. Same thing with the poultry. I could tell you that these are the symptoms, or these are the symptoms you're facing. Most likely it's this disease, but next time it shows up, it's going to show up in another way. The symptoms might be a little bit different, and so if you don't know how to prevent it and you're relying on treatment, hey, you're in trouble. The other thing is that treatment is very expensive. By the time you put in all this money trying to treat the birds, hey, you're in trouble. So the easiest way of preventing disease, preventing sickness on a poultry farm, is by preventing entry of people onto the farm. Do that and you'll almost certainly be safe. Yeah, so today has been quite a different kind of video, you know, just sitting in one place talking to you guys, but I feel like this is really, really important. So take it and you're going to be successful. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button, smash the notification bell, that way you never miss out on another one. Lots of love, catch you very soon with another video. Bye.